Flags have been lowered to half-staff in the United States to honor the service members killed after an Afghan affiliate of ISIS claimed responsibility for the massacre, and a US president acknowledging a tough day, but with a message for the perpetrators.
To those who carried out this attack, as well as anyone who wishes America harm, know this: we will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay. I will defend our interests and our people with every measure at my command. These American service members who gave their lives, it's an overused word, but it's totally appropriate here, were heroes. Heroes who've been engaged in a dangerous, selfless mission to save the lives of others.
Biden vowed to continue their evacuations through the end of the month, now totaling over 105,000 over a 2-week period, with the White House confirming 12,500 evacuations in the last 24 hours alone.
We will complete our mission, and we will continue after our troops have withdrawn to find means by which we can find any American who wishes to get out of Afghanistan. We will find them and we will get them out.
Officials warning that the threat of further attacks remains acute, with forces on high alert for that eventuality.
So let's talk a little bit about the threat streams. So very, very real threat streams, very, what we would call tactical. That means imminent, could occur at any moment. And they range from rocket attacks. We know that they would like to lob a rocket in there if they could. Now, we actually have pretty good protection against that. We have our anti-rocket and mortar system, the gun systems that those of you who've been out there are very familiar with, that are pretty effective against these kinds of attack. We are well positioned around the boundary of the airfield, and we feel that we would be in good shape should that kind of attack occur. We also know they aim to get a vehicle-borne suicide attack in if they can, from a small vehicle to a large vehicle. They're working all those options. And then we've just seen their ability to deliver a walk-in, a vest-wearing suicide attacker. All of those things we look at.
And with thousands struggling to leave Afghanistan, a stressful period for people like US-based Yama Dadik. His Afghan-born wife and 4 children were visiting Afghanistan amid the Taliban's swift takeover and were unexpectedly caught up in the melee as thousands sought to exit the country.
Actually, my wife, went to visit their relative after 4 years. They were expected to come back on August 16, but everything happened very fast, and Kabul collapsed in 15. So they was trapped there, until 24, and finally they made it home today. My family started going to the airport from 17 August until 24. They attempted 6-7 times, and last time, in 24, they were able to get inside the airport, and I'm very happy. Joining, reuniting with my family, my wife, 4 kids, and yeah.
Relief for some in an environment shaped by risks that include life and limb, where everything is complex and nothing a certainty until it is done. Sherwin, SABC News, New York.
For the latest now, we do speak to Sherwin, who is live from New York. So, Sherwin, a big correction coming from the Pentagon today that there was just 1 suicide bomber and not 2 as previously reported. How significant is this?
Well, they had to walk back their information, and we certainly now have to walk back our reporting, because we were quoting John Kirby, the spokesperson for the Pentagon yesterday, that put out a number of tweets telling us that there were 2 suicide bombings, one at something called the Abbey Gate, which is one of the main entrances to Kabul airport, and then at a place called the Baron Hotel, which was the former headquarters of UK operations in the country. But we heard from Major General Hank Taylor earlier today, walking back this information. Let's watch.
Confirm for you that we do not believe that there was a second explosion at or near the Baron Hotel, that it was 1 suicide bomber. We're not sure how that report was provided incorrectly, but we do know it's not any surprise that in the confusion of very dynamic events like this can cause information sometimes to be misreported or garbled. We felt it was important to correct the record with you all here.
So what does that tell us, Tsipi? So that this was a very powerful single explosive vest. A walk-in is how the military refers to those incidents, a very powerful detonation. We've seen reports that up to 190 people have perished in this event. So it really talks to the explosive technology that these insurgents are using now.
So in your previous report, Sherwin, you spoke about President Biden describing the events of the last 24 hours as a tough day. You showed him visibly emotional. But how is the situation of Afghanistan playing out for him domestically and particularly politically?
Remember, Tsipi, so that the rationale for Joe Biden's withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan is that he did not believe that he wanted to sacrifice any more U.S. service members in the expeditions that were undertaken in Afghanistan, because he did no longer believe that it was in the U.S.'s national interest. So losing 13 service members in addition to 18 injuries, the largest death toll since 2011 in Afghanistan, and the first death since February of last year, would have been a particular blow for a president that was seeking to remove troops from Afghanistan in order to save their lives. In addition to that, his poll numbers in the U.S. are taking a hit because you also have the Delta variant and case numbers in terms of COVID-19 exploding in the United States, averaging around 140,000 new cases per day. So the death toll in the United States is above 1,000 consistently now for a number of days. So a number of fronts, the domestic front and the international front, hurting him here. The leader of the Republicans in the House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, saying this a short time ago: this isn't the tested leadership the president promised. It's a picture of weakness and incompetence. To be commander-in-chief, you need the faith, the trust, and confidence of the American people. President Biden lost all three of those yesterday. We also understand that there are going to be congressional investigations. The only advantage for this administration and the incumbent is that Democrats are in charge of any process, both in the House and the Senate, and calls, certainly from the Republican ranks, for Biden to resign or for his impeachment won't see the light of day because Nancy Pelosi is in charge of the House.
Now, we also see a statement from the UN Security Council condemning this attack. What exactly is the 15-member council saying about these recent events?
Yeah, lots of condemnation echoing Tsepiso, what the Secretary General himself, Antonio Guterres, said yesterday, condemning these attacks. They condemned it in the strongest terms. They called it deplorable attacks near Kabul airport, condemning broadly the instances of terrorism and the deliberate attacks against civilians, and reminding member states and all countries of their obligations to hold perpetrators to account. It was also framed by the spokesperson of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. Her name, of course, Michelle Bachelet, her spokesperson, RUPERT Colville. This is how he described it.
The terrorist attack at Kabul airport yesterday was a horrendous move by ISIL Khorasan. It was clearly calculated to kill and maim as many people as possible. Civilians, children, women, fathers, mothers, as well as Taliban and foreign forces protecting the airport. It was an attack specifically designed to cause carnage, and it has caused carnage. This was a hideous assault on desperate civilians, and we hope those responsible are caught and brought to justice as soon as possible.
A hideous attack that created carnage. And let me just give you the readout we're receiving now from the White House, Tsepiso. The White House confirming that the president met in the Situation Room with his national security team earlier today. They advised the president and vice president that another terror attack in Kabul is likely, but that they are taking maximum force protection measures at Kabul airport. Our commanders also updated the president and vice president on plans to develop ISIS-K targets. These are the people that have claimed responsibility for the attack. The next few days of this mission will be the most dangerous period to date. So as we move towards this deadline of August 31st, the White House putting this out, saying the next few days are going to be the most dangerous in this operation today. Tsepiso.
And a busy reporting week for you, Sherwin. Thank you very much. Hope you get some rest. SABC News correspondent Sherwin Bryce Pease. Well, that's